Hey, Brendan. All right. I'm seeing it. We're live. And that's my cue. There's a red box which is on, and I'm consulting my host manual, which of course means we are in fact live. We are extraordinarily grateful and fortunate to have this gentleman on this evening. He shaped the very fabric of popular music. And as if he needs an introduction, I'm going to ask him if he could to briefly introduce himself to you fine folks.
Yeah, so I'm still Bernie Leadon, and I'm from Earth mostly, and although I did take a vacation elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I've played music most of my life with some bands you may have heard of. And is that enough, Steve?
You know what? Not only is that enough, next time you go on vacation, let me know. I'd like to go with you. I'll carry your luggage, whatever's required.
Yeah, I got somebody other than Elon Musk has got my ticket. So.
It's reassuring to know that you are from Earth, although
yeah,
I don't know if I would have gone public and admitted that, but you're a brave man. And he's a fellow Midwesterner, which warms the cockles of my heart. Born in Minneapolis, Minnesota, eventually relocating to Gainesville, Florida, where we all know there was something in the water when it comes to music. Brief run with Linda Ronstadt's backing band, the Corvettes, before joining up with one of the first ever and a great ensemble, a country rock outfit, the Flying Burrito Brothers. He signed back on once more as a member of Linda's backing band, which of course included at that point guitarist, singer Glenn Frey and drummer, singer Don Henley. And you know what happens next? The trio decided to form their own group. Of course, we're talking about the Eagles. There were a total of 4 albums, great albums Bernie was involved with. 1972 self-titled debut, 73's Desperado, 1974's On the Border, and 1975's One of These Nights. A lot of the hardcore fans say that that's the best run that the band had. They're just fantastic records. And in the 80s, Bernie went back to work with Chris Hillman for a pair of releases. He also, and I didn't realize this, replaced John McEwen in the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band for a run of recordings and I believe tours. In addition to numerous projects, he spent much of the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s as an in-demand session musician in Nashville. He's appeared on so many albums with so many great artists over the years, including Grant Parsons, Alabama, Rita Coolidge, Emmylou Harris, John Hyatt, who's been on here, also David Crosby and Stevie Nicks, just to name a few. And tonight he's back with this amazing solo record after a short 20-year wait. Spoiler alert, it was worth it. So buckle up. Let's kick the show off and let's roll the video, Brendan.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
Yeah, that gets my adrenaline going, but it was already amped up knowing who's on this evening. I have probably the greatest gig in the world when it comes to this evening's show. I'm your host, Steve Harkins, on the Rock and Roll Channel Talk Shop Live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're so fortunate to have the co-founder of the Eagles, terrific producer, songwriter, highly sought after session player. And did we mention, I don't believe we did, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Bernie Leadon. And with that, Bernie, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Yeah, you're welcome, Steve. Thanks for inviting me.
You know, it's my pleasure. And where do we find you this fine evening?
In a room that my manager found suitable.
Excellent. On the planet Earth, to be clear.
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly. Yeah. And once you figure out what the other portion of it is, please share with your friends. Fans, if you'd like to ask Bernie a question or you have a comment, use the chat function and we'll get to as many as possible. And Bernie, I say this with all sincerity, music is considered synonymous with entertainment, but I think especially in this day and age, what you do is extraordinarily important, especially, as I said, in today's climate, you bring people together through your message, your music, and your art. And it's probably the one common thread that we have today, music, and that it doesn't matter what, religious conviction, that you have or political affiliation, it brings everybody together, so thank you for what you continue to do.
Yeah, and thanks for putting it that way, because I also believe that music is really critically important for humans.
Yep.
You know, it's a universal language. Uh, I played in Japan a couple times, and many in the audience didn't speak English or much, but somehow you just communicate. You can do it with sign language and a couple of words and some music and a good vibe, but it's really important communication medium music is. Yeah.
It absolutely is, and hey, congratulations on this record, Too Late to Be Cool, and, I know it's been a long time coming, not that, you were thinking about it for the entire 20 years, but you have to be really pleased with the final result.
Yeah, I am. And we didn't mention that in the last 20 years, I went back out on the road with the Eagles for 2.5 years, 2013, 14, and 15.
That's right.
Yeah, so 25 months on the road, 175 shows all over the world. And that really was the beginning of the catalyst for this new record. I built a studio. I built a building to go around all my vintage recording gear, and my old friend Glenn Johns came over from England, and I'd been planning to record, so I had songs, and we just got after it, and it all happened really fast, actually.
And that experience you referred to as far as that last stint with the Eagles was relatively good vibes, a good experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody who's gone to Wikipedia and looked at my entry, saw the story about me pouring a beer on Glenn Frey's head,
Yeah.
which was true. That was in 1975, probably early. And of course, he took exception to that. I mean, it wasn't the best way to improve.
It was a common ritual in rock bands, wasn't it?
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly good beer. I want people to know that it was a perfectly good beer.
Yeah.
But anyway, then I realized that I needed to clean that up with Glenn, and so I did, and I wrote him a letter, and eventually he called me in 2013 and said, "Hey, we're going to do this history of tour of the Eagles, and we want to have all this do a good representation of all the music that I was on." And
Yeah.
so the first half of the show was all stuff I was on. Second half of the show was stuff after I left the band in 75, and then the encore was mixed. But that was a really good experience for me and Glenn, I think, and we parted friends at the end of 75.
How great.
Yeah.
No regrets that not knowing what the future holds, right?
Yeah, and the future held for Glenn that he wasn't going to be on this planet that much longer. And
Right.
so nobody really knew that. But that's a good lesson for everyone and for myself to realize to value the time, carpe diem, value this day, and tell people you love them, and be nice to folks.
The gospel according to, Bernie Leadon, and I subscribe wholeheartedly. What really stood out to me about, this record, first of all, the material is extraordinarily strong, and it's so great to, have you back committed to the album format and sharing this with the fans. But what really stuck out, the first thing I picked up on after I went through the 11 tracks is the wonderful approach you took with your vocals. And it's not just unique melody lines, and there's some unique stylizing and songs here, but the approach that you took to sing each one, to me, my interpretation was as if you were a narrator setting the tone for each one of these songs. And I have to ask you, was that like a conscious decision in terms of how you approach the vocal for each track?
Well, I'll tell you the biggest realization, I guess, about my singing is that I'm a true baritone.
Yeah.
So in the Eagles vocal stack of four guys, right? So Randy Meisner was a true tenor singing on top. I was
Right.
a true baritone singing on bottom. And the secret to a good blend in a vocal group is that everybody's be singing in their natural range.
Right.
But I had tried to sing in the same range as Henley and Fry, and kind of a high baritone, pushing it into second tenor, like lower tenor, and it created a bit of a strain on my voice, especially as I got older. And I realized that you can sing in your own range, and I realized there were artists who had always sung in their own range if they were baritones, and it sounds great. Merle Haggard's one.
That's right. Embrace it.
Yeah, so I embrace it, exactly. And so my voice is richer and warmer down singing in my own range, and so we were conscious of that on this record as I wrote those songs, and as we, in a couple of cases, we actually dropped them even again to record them.
Wow.
So that's maybe what I'm most pleased about is I finally woke up and realized I was a baritone.
Yeah, an awakening of sorts. And I also love, you and I talked about this when we first met, that you recorded this the old school way with tape and, with vintage equipment. And I have to say, sonically, there's just something really special about this recording. There's a warmth, and I also say to people, this is a great case study and a great reason to invest in a great set of headphones over earbuds when you're listening to this record. But that was a conscious decision on your part, was it not?
Yeah, and the way that Glenn Johns has always worked, and I like working. He's my recording mentor, so I subscribe to his way of doing things. But he's always done it. He's been in the business so long that he actually started in 1959 before stereo, so everything was mono.
Amazing.
So he would arrive at work and they'd be doing a commercial, a jingle, advertising jingle, maybe maybe an album for somebody. But everybody was in the same room, all going on to one track. There was no remixing, so he had to mix as it was going down. So all of that training for him, he's used to people being in the room who can play and sing live and not make mistakes. And you just do it all looking at each other. And if you don't get it on the first take, maybe there's little changes that people started going this way a little bit, and the other guy listens to it and responds to that. So it's an organic process where it's actually like the process is a living thing, and it grows right in front of you. And so a lot of the songs on this album were first, second, or third take. I mean, we would sit in a room and make a chart for the musicians, and I would sing it 4 or 5 times, and they'd make their chart really fast.
Yeah.
And then we just go in and hit it fresh, and sometimes you can just capture it in the first couple takes. That was mostly true. But I even sang live on a couple of the three of these songs, maybe. Sang live with the backing track, everybody playing and me singing live.
Right.
And the vocal was the final take. So it's like,
Amazing.
for me, these are milestones for me. This is like making progress,
Yeah, and you wouldn't know that. I mean, you would assume. I mean, especially the vocals. I mean, it feels like you kind of worked on them, and it was a concentrated effort, and it's so great to hear. I mean, that it was going with the inspiration and the moment. And you do hear in many cases, sometimes the first take is the best take, even after you do 20 or 30 of them. In fact, sometimes you lose the essence of it, by the redundancy of doing it over and over again.
Yeah, and it's nobody's fault. It's just human nature to want to quote improve and clean up things.
Yeah.
But when you get the early takes, everybody's very much reacting to one another and like, whoa, hey, and they're looking at their chart and they're listening to me, and I'm listening to my guitar and trying to sing in tune and all that stuff. Yeah. But there's one thing there's always little mistakes in anything that humans do, and don't correct everything. And I've been in recording sessions where the first take, second take was great. Right. Everybody goes, yeah, that's it. And they come into the control room and then they go, well, can I just fix the bass for the first half of the song? And the other guy goes, can I just punch in my guitar, And then pretty soon it's all sanitized. And it sounds like every other record. It's like, oh, man.
It's a runaway train too, right? Because everybody they rethink what they did. Yeah,
you should just leave it alone sometimes.
I think you're exactly right. Glenn Johns, I think sometimes is unfairly pigeonholed, because of that Let It Be movie, not the recording project and what the Beatles put together, but there was some dissension, and that film wasn't portrayed in the most favorable light. The guy has such a brilliant body of work, and I know you guys are friends, and as you said, he was a mentor of sorts as far as how to produce and record. So specifically, boy, after all these amazing artists that he's worked with through the years, including the Eagles, I think it was the first, was it three albums? We did a portion of the third album, but he he finally caught it, you know, the vision. But what did he bring to the table specifically for this album?
Oh, well, first of all, we are so close, and we've worked together for so long that we just know one another's strengths and weaknesses, and well, I'm not saying he has any weaknesses, but I definitely have a few. But no, but he works very instinctively, and he doesn't have to think about how to handle this next thing. He's just done it so long, whatever the situation is. And producers often are like a psychologist in the studio.
Right.
If the artist is feeling insecure or whatever, there's different ways to motivate people, and
Right.
and usually the best one is to just encourage them. So, but we have kind of a shorthand by now with the two of us. So, and the musicians were all great, all first call Nashville guys. Glenn Worf, the bass player, is in Mark Knopfler's band also.
Amazing.
They,
Yeah.
they played on just thousands and thousands of hits. But the main thing is they can get right to the point very quickly, distill it, not mess around. And Glenn's the same way, and hopefully I'm able to do that too. And I'd lived with the songs a long time. So it happened very quickly and very instinctively. And I would, not with no effort, but, without too much ado.
Yeah, and those that aren't familiar with the process, the recording process and what you just described would think it's counterintuitive to not having, released a solo record for 20 years, that you would wanna take your time with it, right? And nurture it in the studio, but, the essence was absolutely caught. I'm curious, these amazing musicians that you surrounded yourself with, were they handpicked by you? How did you assemble them?
Yeah, they were handpicked by me. I've known the drummer, Greg Morrow. He's from Memphis.
Yeah,
He's been in Nashville and been very successful in Nashville for over 20 years, but I probably met him 25 years ago in Memphis, and he was already a great drummer doing sessions. He was a full-time musician over there. But Greg is very instinctive, can play anything. He has a great feel and easy to play with, great pocket. And like you would expect from somebody from Memphis or New Orleans, Louisiana, he plays, his pocket is a little bit behind his snare, where he puts the snare is a little bit back.
right.
And so that helps create a deeper groove, but it also, I don't know, it's just comfortable for me. It's like, so, yeah, but all the guys are just, I don't know what to say about them, except that they've just honed their craft to the point where it's just instinctive. What to play is instinctive, and not a
Yeah.
problem, right?
You know what? And you'll hear this commentary throughout each track as we discuss them. But my observation is you can tell how stellar the musicianship is. Uh, the arrangements and production are outstanding, but I often say sometimes it's not what you put in, it's what you don't put in. And a lot of these songs are allowed to breathe. I mean, they're supplemented with some great riffs and parts, but at the end of the day, these songs breathe, and that's discipline, and that's serving the song first and foremost.
Yeah, that's always been important to me. And younger players, and I was a banjo player, right, or am a
Right.
banjo player. But when I was young banjo players and lead guitar players, they're like, I'm going to show you every lick and every note I know right now on this
Yeah.
song, whether it fits or not. And they're excited about it, and that's cool. But you do learn to serve the song and to play melodic parts, and that are simple but hopefully elegant.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. That's a great word. Album cover shot, by the way, is so striking, and we talked about this. There's a story behind it.
Yeah, so I, after the Eagles, I made one album for Asylum Records with my friend Michael Georgiadis.
Mhm.
And uh, so then I was out of the band for a couple, 3 years already, and I was going to do another album for Asylum. And so um, I had the idea to find a place in the Hollywood Hills where you could see the city lights down below and
Yeah.
stand in front of it. But it was hard to find. We had to go into the city much deeper into Los Angeles, more near Griffith Park or something, to get up on a hill where there was a lot where it was only city lights down below.
Right.
And the shot is looking south toward Long Beach, which is probably 40, 50 miles away. And there's just, it's just a bazillion city lights down below.
Yep.
And so, but Henry Diltz, who did a lot of the Eagles covers and Crosby, Stills and Nash and Mamas and Papas and The Doors and all that, he was the photographer. Anyway, this was the shot in which I was turned to the side where you can see my face. And the other shots from the photo session have been already used, like for some films and things. But it's just a great shot, I think.
It is a great shot. What prompted you to? Did you always have in the back of your mind one day you want to use that?
Yeah. So it was actually taken. I left this out. It was taken for an album that I was supposed to finish then. I never finished it.
Got it.
So it's just been on my shelf, and I'd already finished this record when I saw that, and I went, wait a minute, I've already paid for that for an album cover. Why don't we use it? So yeah, I'm thrilled to be able to use it. I think everybody should see it, and but it's very evocative. And then the back cover, you can't see the CD, or maybe you can. I know you have CDs in house that you're going to sell, but the back cover I took just like last month, and the tone, I took it about 5:30 in the morning. The back shot.
Wow.
But it has the same kind of color to the sky, the night sky that's on the cover photo. It's very similar.
Yeah.
So that was serendipity, and it looks like both shots were taken, around the same time. So
common thread. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. And one is 45 years old, and one was like last month.
A couple of Eagles things. You address probably too many of those with interviews because this is about the new record. But from your perspective, leaving the Eagles, is my understanding you strongly recommend the band take a break for a myriad of really good reasons, and it was decided to keep forging forward to keep the momentum going. And did you ever think about it, if the band had heeded your suggestion and came up for air? Do you think it would have been likely that the group may have stayed together in the format, the original format, namely with you in the group, had they heeded your strong suggestion, which seems to make a lot of sense?
Yeah, I think that's very possible. See, before the Eagles, I'd been touring for 2 solid years with the Flying Burrito Brothers, touring back east and so forth. And so I said to the guys after about 3.5 years in the Eagles that we were doing 1.5, 2 month tours sometimes. Right. And so I was pretty burned out from just nonstop for 6 years. And I said to the guys, it'd be great if we took 6 months off and then came back. We'll come back fresh, and we'll have songs and all that kind of thing. But there's also the small matter of me having poured the beer on Glenn Frey's head. So
yeah, but it was an exceptional beer, again, for the record. That's my takeaway.
It was a canned aluminum can. It wasn't anything fancy, but
oh, too bad.
Yeah.
All right, it is what it is. I can't change history. One of my all-time favorite Eagles songs, synonymous with this time of year, Halloween, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. Of course, I'm referring to Witchy Woman. Something so unique and distinct about that track. The first time I heard it, which was when it was released, I remember hearing it on FM radio in Chicago, and it just stood out. It was just so incredibly distinct. As the original architect of this, on any thoughts about being forever linked now to one of America's favorite holidays?
Yeah, actually, I don't think about it as a Halloween song, really, but I guess, of course, it's appropriate. But yeah, that's cool. So the deal with that song is I had written all the music before the Eagles started,
right,
on one of the last tours with the Flying Burrito Brothers, and so that whole guitar riff thing was mine. And I showed it to the Eagles when we got together, and Henley came back with a set of lyrics. So my recent joke is that it was Henley that dated the Witchy Woman, and so he wrote the lyrics. I had nothing to do with it.
For the record. Absolutely. Hey, John R., thanks so much for picking up a copy of Bernie's new CD. I guarantee you're absolutely going to love it. Joseph, George, David, Ryan, there's so many of you out there that have signed up, and you're going to love this record. Adam wants to know, what inspired you to return to recording after years away from the spotlight? I think you said there was partly the tour, right? You were inspired, the
Yeah,
reunion with
and
the
then
Beatles?
also I've been I've been collecting vintage recording gear for 50 years. So
Yeah.
I had this 11.5 foot wide analog console in my living room, and so when I came off the tour in 2015, uh, I got to get this out of my living room, right? So, because I'd like to have a house back, you know.
Yeah. Minor
Basically,
details.
like I said, I designed a building around all this recording gear that I already owned, and just put it all in an ideal situation, and also ready to be used. And I have a full-time maintenance guy now, and so with analog gear, as wonderful as it is, it requires some babysitting
Yeah.
and maintenance. But so we have a working studio and a working building, and it's ready to use today. So it's not going to be 20 years again till I put out another record.
This is great news, for sure. But and I have to say too, it seems like you made the right decision. It stood the test of time yet again. So, when you had that vision, you were collecting all this equipment that, it to this day, it feels like you made the right decision as evidenced by this album.
Yeah, I totally agree. And and I'll use the word elegant again. There's something elegant about a really good analog recording studio. I mean,
Yeah.
there's space, so the control room where this giant console is has two couches in the back, and it's a very comfortable place to be,
Right.
comfortable place to write songs, a comfortable place to make music, to listen to music, to mix music. So basically, I built a clubhouse that's very functional, and so I think it was a wise decision. And of course, it's a hybrid studio. We have the full digital rig, but the digital rig can be in your laptop, anymore,
Right. Right.
and it requires a whole building to have the analog gear.
Absolutely. Yeah, to me, as you mention it, the analog board kind of reminds me of like the cockpit of music recording, and that it just feels like, it's command central. And
Yeah,
it just has this powerful feeling when, we sit behind it and you're laying down tracks or you're going through the mixing process.
yeah. For me, it's the only way to do it. And I messed around with the digital stuff, but you're looking at a screen, and it's like, aren't we doing that enough in our
Yeah,
lives? I
yeah.
mean, do I want to be trying to make music and having to stare at a screen and squint at parameters and little buttons on? Well,
Right.
an image of a button. It's not even a button. The nice thing about the analog console is all the buttons are real. They're push buttons and switches, and you turn things. And for me, it's the way to do it. And why change, right?
Exactly right. So thankful for it, for sure. Charlie, want to thank you for being here. Benny wants to know, does too late to be cool mean something to you at this stage of your career? And as your agent, although you didn't sign up with me, I advise you don't have to necessarily answer that question.
Yeah, I get it. There's two or three interpretations, I guess, at
Yeah.
least. Too late to be cool, but as I say, I, I was informed by my son when he was 13 that he was now the cool guy and I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which is a painful moment in life.
yeah, it was. Now he thinks I'm cool again. But
That's great. And of course, you're denying him of all access passes and whatnot, right?
yeah,
He's paying the price.
he's working for a living.
There we go, for sure. Charlotte wants to know if there's any musical collaborations or project you still like to pursue, which I'd like to add on to that. Do you ever take any time to look back on the legacy of what you've accomplished? Quite often, most musicians they're just focused on looking forward.
Yeah, it's great. The past is great and all, but I can't stare at it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm looking to do fresh stuff that's I like stuff now that has a kind of a groove to it, and so that
Yeah.
kind of makes you move, or it entices you in because of the rhythm.
Eh,
So,
yeah.
but I think you asked about collaboration. So yeah, we're
Yeah,
talking
that's right.
about doing some, but we haven't done much yet.
Yet. I love that. That leaves the door open for sure. Edward and Alex are both saying, they love the album. Do you have any plans to support the album? You did do one show at the Americana Fest, right?
Yeah, that was in early September.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a New Year's Eve show and maybe something else, but probably maybe something else this year. But the touring season starts again in March, roughly. So, yeah. So we did actually write another song since and release it since the album just coming out right now. It's called Holidays, spelled Holidaze, Holidays.
Love it.
And so the thesis of that is that the holidays now start before Halloween. They go all the way through Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's Eve, on into the football playoff season, culminating in the Super Bowl in early February, which is only 1 week before Valentine's Day. And
You're right.
It's like, and then there's St. Patrick's Day. And so anyway, it's like a 5-month marathon now, but it's kind of crazy making, except we all really love it, right? Because all this togetherness, gift giving, visiting one another, it's really cool.
That's exactly right. And of course, if you watch Hallmark Channel, 11 out of 12 months celebrates the holiday, but that's a whole nother issue I've got to seek counseling for. But at any rate, this is let's see. Jamie is saying, love the Mirror album. Thought it would be tough to top that, wore it out, but I love this one too. Working on wearing this one out.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you get so many fans that just are so appreciative. And I'm curious. Often when I talk to artists that have had a successful career, when we talk about, trying to figure out what is my next project. It seems like first and foremost, it has to appeal to you. It has to speak to you. And so I'm asking you the question, Bernie, when you write your music, when you record your music, is it first to satisfy you and speak to you as opposed to trying to project out, concern about how fans would react to it?
Yeah, I absolutely think that I write for myself,
Yeah.
I was at a dinner party that Glenn Johns was at the table, and a younger man asked him, about songwriting. And so Glenn turned around at the table and asked me, Bernie, do you write for yourself or what? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I write for myself. And I've tried to write for what I think the market might want or people might want. And I just fail miserably at that. And I don't think you can really predict. But there is a thing this is a weird converse thing, that if you write something that's very personal, since the truth is that all humans have the same emotions, a lot of the same feelings, you can write something that's very personal, and then you'll have people come up to you and say, wow, that one spoke to me directly in my heart, man.
Right.
That's exactly how I feel, and I didn't know how to say it.
Yeah.
And so you're really speaking for people sometimes that have experiences that they don't know how to talk about, And so if you write your own experience, somebody else will identify with it, and that can be cathartic and enjoyable for them. And so it's kind of, it works best if I just focus on making something that I like.
Yeah. And you should know it does connect with a wide range of people. I think this album has a number of tracks, which we're going to get into in a second. It's a great day to be a music fan, a great day to be an Eagle fan, and a great day to be a Bernie Leadon fan. After 2 decades away from the studio, he returns with Too Late to Be Cool, first solo record in 20 years. And let me tell you, it was worth the wait. You know what? Bernie helped shape the sound of an era, which stands the test of time. We have 11 great new tracks, and the album releases on Friday, November 28th. However, it's generally known as Black Friday, although I just want to announce we're rechristening it that particular day, Bernie Friday. We're done with Black Friday. It's Bernie Friday. The Rock and Roll Channel and Talk Shop Live fans can purchase their copies right here, right now. And it's Bernie's way of thanking you fans. He has graciously agreed to autograph copies of this new album purchased here. To order them, just hit the shop button at Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook and Instagram. Comment shop will DM you a link. The rest is quick and easy. and pain-free, unlike Bernie, who may have developed a slight arthritic condition, signing for you fine fans, but well on the way to recovery, I believe. And hurry, they're limited, and with the holiday season upon us too, can't think of a more unique gift, the gift of music, to give to someone that you care about. There's no greater way to show how much you appreciate Bernie's artistry than by owning a copy of his latest musical body of work. Let's hear the opening and title track from Bernie Leadon's forthcoming brand new album, Too Late to Be Cool. Here's Zero Sum Game. Brendan, if you would please roll the digital.
Not so lovely today. She took your love and left you again. Don't go searching for somebody to blame. There's always more love from whence it came. And there always is a lesson to explain. For we chose the path of fortune and fame. And one will always meet oneself yet again. The next time round the refrain. Because love, because love, because love is not a zero-sum game. That feeling that has swept you away can carry you back the same way that you came, where we find ourselves still waiting today. And that feeling never left anyway. You could travel searching for the golden key to understanding. Think the door is locked, but we're gonna see. Ain't nothing there that isn't free. Because love, because love, because love is not a zero-sum game.
Bernie, I should have forewarned you. This is the part where the fans get really angry with me. They're already texting me saying, Steve, why did you cut off that great track? And those of you that have been here before, you know how it works. You have to buy the album to hear the rest of it. Probably some other ways. Trust me, it only gets better. Beautiful, powerful opening track. Love this one. Wonderful acoustic guitar work supplemented by those gorgeous harmonies. And a common thread you'll hear me say throughout is a great lyric, and that feeling that swept you away can carry you back the same way you came, where we'll find ourselves still waiting today, and that feeling never left away. You can travel searching for the golden key to understanding. We think the door is locked, but we're going to see ain't nothing there that isn't free, because love is not a zero-sum game. I mean, some of these lyrics, like this one, almost reads like prose. Just great lyric.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, and some of it does rhyme, but I'm learning how to write false verse too. You know, like, which actually is more like prose.
Yeah.
Sometimes I found that it's more important to say the line that really gets straight to it than to worry about the rhyme necessarily. And Joni Mitchell is an inspiration for that, because she would just, her verses would just string out longer than the last one, and then she just wrote new music to fit under the words, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of trying to shoehorn in the lyric, as you said, to rhyme.
Yeah, you can be free with it, you know.
Absolutely. Telescope, hypnotic guitar rhythm colored with wonderful guitar riffs. You know, and as I said earlier, I mean, those guitar riffs really serve the song. Love the modulation. And again, the vocal approach really complements this track and another great set of lyrics.
Telescope?
Telescope.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a funny song, because every kid has taken a telescope or binoculars and looked at them backwards,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
it makes everything smaller, and so it's just kind of it's a whimsical song in that way, but it all started with that opening guitar riff, and that
Fantastic.
yeah, and so
Hey, let's check out another track from Bernie's forthcoming brand new album, Too Late to Be Cool. Here's just a little once again. If you would, Brendan, please roll the digital, or should I say the analog?
Been had, flipped off, sucker punch, ripped off and stymied, been rooked, hoodwinked, bamboozled and snookered, manipulated, betrayed, sold out and con, mislaid, kicked in the nads, flum off, tied in knots and swindle. Why I'm a little pissed off, and I'm a little ticked off, just a little hacked off. Now I'm a little older. Been set up, sold out, psyoped and targeted, alphabeted, infiltrated, intimidated, stimulated, been molested, protection racketed, straight up burgled, cement jacketed, been Jimmy Hoffa, self-rich, false flag, bait and switch, hit up and pinch, snoop and snitch, been scammed, flim flam, taking it for granted, do the right thing, pay my taxes, kiss your ring, just a little pissed off, and I'm a little ticked off, just a little hacked off. Now I'm a little older.
Oh man, just a little straight up rocker, great vocal approach, killer lyric yet again, and yeah, just awesome guitar breaks, which you didn't get to hear segue into a killer keyboard moment. Again, got to buy the album to hear that. Instant classic from Bernie in my book, great lyric. And if I could indulge just for a second, been had, flipped off, sucker punched, ripped off and stymied, been rooked, hoodwinked, bamboozled and snookered, manipulated, betrayed, sold out and con mislaid, kicked in the nads. Right there, I need a t-shirt with that, flummoxed, tied in knots and swindled. Why I'm a little pissed off, I'm a little ticked off, just a little hacked off, but now I'm a little bit older. What a fun song, what a great track.
I had a little too much coffee that morning.
I'll tell you what, I encourage it. I don't know what brand it was or whatever, but keep drinking it.
It was from Costco.
There we go. Good to know. I'll tell you what, I wish we'd be selling that right now. And by the power vested in me on the Rock and Roll channel, I hereby declare this track better than the Keith Richards blood transfusion. Man, I struggled to get past this one. It was just that good. I'll bet this thing would kill live.
That's funny. Yeah, it does sound great live.
No
Especially
doubt.
with that same band. I've been using that same band live, which is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Gillard Chris is saying, so happy to hear Bernie's voice again in song and sounding fantastic. So again, well worth the wait for sure. Gavin, thanks for being here. Jamie Lee's also, I think, appreciative of the fact that you're spending the time here to talk about this this particular record. Vicky Bushman saying the cover of the album expressed the whole concept of the music created here. Wonderful, wonderful listening, listening to these tunes every single day. So, I mean, again, that just kind of goes back to what I said earlier, the power of music and how important it is, probably more today than when you started out, which was pretty powerful and important back then.
Yeah, it was, and of course we were the baby boomers, right? And there were so many of us, and the generation needed songs of our own because we grew up with the songs of our parents,
That's right.
Like every generation does. But and so music has moved on. In fact, this holiday song that we're releasing tomorrow or something. Tomorrow. Holidays, Holidaze. Anyway, there's two versions of it. One is me.
Yeah.
And the other one is an urban choir.
Wow.
And it's amazing. I mean, it's the same song. We had written it recently. I had written it recently, but so we got another production of it. So there's two productions of it coming out like tomorrow, and so check that out. That's interesting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it should be unveiled tomorrow, you're saying, Bernie, you think?
Yeah, tomorrow.
That's great. Pretty exciting. What inspired the urban gospel version of it? Was that out of left field, or somebody recommend it?
Yeah, somebody did it for me, and it's great. It's fantastic. So, in connecting with more directions, and genres. I mean, definitely urban is, I guess, part of what you call R&B now. But
we've changed how the industry's coined the phrase, right, for soulful music.
So people will think it hasn't been done before, but
right.
but R&B has always been part of country to some degree, and the Flying Burrito Brothers did R&B flavored stuff and all that. But this is straight up. Well, you'll see. Check it out.
I'll tell you what. That's my homework assignment. I'm looking forward to it. I might be pulling an all-nighter. Hopefully, it's posted at 12:01. But if not, I'll still, I'll still stay up.
Okay, cool.
Jamie's saying loved him singing with Emmylou. How about Alison Krauss? Is that on your radar? That would be a good
on
one.
my radar. Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't ever worked with her.
Yeah.
But I have sat in a small club and watched her work a microphone from the side.
She's a force of nature, is she not?
Yeah, I mean, she's so talented, but her skill at the craft of singing and her skill at the craft of playing music, playing her fiddle, her violin. Yeah. In her case, it's a violin. She plays in tune. My God. Yeah. But no, I mean, Alison Krauss is a force of nature, and I love her. That's all I can say about her.
Very good. All right, start the writing campaign, Bernie and Allison, for sure. Again, it's a great day to be a Bernie Leadon fan. Again, after 20 long years of waiting, Too Late to Be Cool is unveiled, and it's 11 great new tracks. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I will guarantee that you will love this record. If you don't, you can email me at steve@talkshop.live, and I will make it right. That's how good this record is. So pull the trigger. You need to absolutely own this particular record. You keep coming back to it over and over again. It officially releases physically on Friday, November 28th, otherwise known as Black Friday. But as I said before, we are rechristening that day Bernie Friday. I mean, let's take it over. And the Rock and Roll Channel fans can purchase their copies right here, right now. Just click shop on Talk Shop Live. And if you're on the socials, just comment shop, and we will DM you a link. Click it. The rest is quick and easy. And again, there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate this brilliant artist than by owning a copy of his latest musical body work. You will not regret it. Take it as it comes. Wonderful, vibey, jazzy track, peppered with some blues, an atmospheric track, which leads into a wonderful chorus, all complemented by a terrific vocal. This one spoke to me, Bernie. And another great ending, but I won't spoil it.
Okay.
Terrific track. Was there something that kind of planted a seed as far as the inspiration behind it?
Well, so most of my songs, I start by noodling on the guitar, and you come up
Yeah.
with a vibe, chord progression, whatever. So take it as it comes as a descending chord progression, but it does it in minor key, and then it does it in a major key. But the whether it's major or minor musically coincides with whether the lyric is sad or happy,
Yeah.
So I just use the major minor thing on guitar to illustrate the lyric, but and it's interesting how it just changes it. It's very similar, the descending line in the major key or the minor key, but that simple change from major to minor, it makes a huge difference in how it hits the listener. So basically,
That's right.
I'm messing with you by switching back and forth between major and minor.
Love that.
Messing with your feelings.
Yeah, I love that. Joe Inspires saying, thanks so much for the great music, Bernie. I've been trying to learn all your Eagle banjo parts. One day, maybe I'll come close. And
Cool, man.
yeah. And Vicky's saying, Bernie, big smile. You made a lot of us fans happy. So rest assured, man, mission accomplished.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's quirky. Awesome opening riff and guitar work. Jaw-dropping, in my opinion. This one's worth the price of admission. Morphs into a wonderful jazzy run. Again, some really fun lyrics. Everyone's quirky and a little bit strange, but I'd rather be quirky than be boring, damn straight. I can see that you're quirky and a student of fate, but would you dance in the kitchen if dinner is late? I have to tell you, Bernie, I've immediately adopted this one as my anthem. What inspired this one musically was, again, kind of noodling around.
Well, yeah, the guitar noodling is a constant, So yes,
Yeah.
I came up with the opening riff, but I was having a conversation with my wife, who claims she cannot dance, and yet she's a great cook, and we had built a new kitchen, and we were in there cooking, and so I went over, and she had a cute apron on, and so I grabbed her and I said, "Listen, and she was playing like Ella Fitzgerald channel on her phone." Through a nice speaker, and I said, "Listen, just hold me, and now just sway, and I just feel the rhythm of this song, and so we'll just move our upper bodies. We don't have to worry about our feet, right?" And
Yeah.
so, and I go, isn't that fun?" and so we just, so the song is kind of about a guy and his wife who cannot dance, but the moment drives them into one another's arms, and they dance anyway.
Yeah.
And they just make it up as they go. And so the song says, but would you dance in the kitchen even if dinner was late? Or your biscuits are burned or whatever.
Right.
So I think it's a great thing to remember that, yeah, we should just grab each other, grab your wife and girlfriend, and dance even if you can't.
Very good. Well, once again, the gospel according to Bernie Leadon. Well said. Number of tracks, I just want to tick them off. Go on down to mobile. Wonderful intro, swampy, funky track. Another terrific one. Mama Didn't Raise No Fool. Great lyric, fun track here. Great vibe from the band. And just had to cite the lyrics. Johnny tried to talk me out of lunch money, honey. Johnny tried to talk me out of lunch. Said he'd trade me Sally's phone number, but that don't impress me much. Mama didn't raise no fool. Mama taught me them street smarts. Honey, mama didn't raise no fool. Sides, I've already done run into Miss Sally, and she already asked me to call. So you're a little late in the morning there, buddy. Mama didn't raise no fool. Important question, Bernie, as my takeaway. Do you still keep in touch with Johnny?
Well, yeah, I know a lot of Johnnies.
Yeah.
Right? Every other guy I know is Johnny.
That's right.
And I never dated Sally. So.
Wow.
I know.
Well, so you kind of carry that with you, even though you have a wonderful woman.
Yeah, it's one of my major regrets.
Yeah, I understand. We all have a few of those for sure. No question about it. Too Late to Be Cool, the title track. This is flat out a great Bernie Leadon track. One that, in my opinion, will stand the test of time. Sounds and feels warm and familiar. The mark of a great track. Great arrangement and production, which then gets into Fathom, which again, this one feels like another instant classic, magical arrangements, and kudos to you and Glenn on this one. And Coast Highway, another feel-good track, and I can't help but feel, just as an observation, and I don't know, it was out of left field, but like this one would fit wonderfully on the Broadway stage. Not sure that even lines up with your vision, but it just had kind of this, this just kind of big, grandiose kind of feeling. Like I'd want to hear it on a live stage.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a simple acoustic blues on the guitar, acoustic guitar, in the key of E, which is a standard blues key. But then the lyrics are kind of like my version of Route 66, which name drops all the towns, from St. Louis all the way to LA.
Yeah, it's great.
And on Route 66. And so this one, the guy starts in LA and he goes up the coast and he goes past back it up into Alaska, and he ends up the road runs out at Prudhoe Bay on the north shore of Alaska, and he thinks it's gonna he's run away from his problem, whatever that is, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
And but he's clueless, and he doesn't even know what winter's like up there. So good luck to him.
Yeah, exactly. We're pulling for him. Too Many Memories, boy, amazing song, perfect closing track. We're going to hear it on the outro. Just phenomenal, wonderful melody and lyric. Too many memories of another life, too many memories, and it cuts like a knife. Too many glimpses of another world, digging for coal and diving for pearls, lived many lifetimes in a single go, changing location like changing my clothes, changing my hair. Do you like my new look? Changing beliefs that I read in a book. Just a great lyric. And also love that chord progression. Just a real special track.
Well, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I really like that one too. And people like it. Seem to like it.
Yeah, it makes sense that it would connect for sure. And again, it's a great day to be a Bernie Leadon fan, whether you're an Eagle fan or just a music fan in general. The man has delivered. Yes, it's been 20 years. We've been patient, but he has absolutely delivered. 11 great new tracks, releases on Friday, November 28th, but you can order it right here, right now. And it's his way of thanking you fans. He's personally autographed this new album, purchased here on Talk Shop Live. That's right. To order, just hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live. On socials, comment shop, we'll DM you a link. Click it, and the rest is quick and easy. And again, there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate great music and Bernie's artistry than owning a copy of his latest musical body of work. So, Bernie, I got to ask you, what does the balance of 2025 hold for you, and any insights you can share with us for 2026?
Well, I hope we all have a great 2026 for sure, and I'll be doing more shows in 2026 than I did in 2025.
It's great news.
Looking forward to that. And I'll be back in the studio. I got the studio, and it's ready and waiting. So
yeah,
I'm writing songs all the time, and
you're in charge of the scheduling. That's the good news.
Yeah, it sure is.
Right. Before we let you go, we'd like to thank the fans for being here this evening. So many passionate ones, and you've touched so many people through the years. And this record is no different for sure. Special thanks to Robert Turner from ADA, without whom we would not have connected with the great Bernie Leadon. So thank you, Robert, for that. Also to Liberty Esch, thank you for all of your help. And Trevi and Cootie, I hope I have the last name right, jumping through hoops and getting us what we need. And to our fulfillment partners at All Media Supply, thank you. And to Brian, Tina, Brad, Joe, Jenny, Lavani, Marty, Kate, Sam, and behind the scenes is always doing a great job, Brendan. But most importantly, to the great Bernie Leadon for continuing to share his musical gifts with all of us. And Bernie, before we part company, any last words you'd like to share with the fans today? We're coming up upon the holidays and everything, and some words of wisdom or appreciation from you.
Well, I just wrote this song "Holidays" that's coming out tomorrow in the last month, but the song is called "Holidays." It's a little crazy, the holiday period.
Yeah.
But in thinking about it, I went, it may be that, but it's also, we all really love it because of the togetherness, meals together, celebrating, gift giving, and just basically seeing family and friends and watching football, whatever it is. But it's it's a time to come together, and I think we all love it for that. And so I'm very grateful for the holidays.
So looking forward to hearing it. Who knows? Maybe we can cajole you to come on and talk about it during the holiday season.
Well, since there's 2 versions, that'd be fun to talk about.
Let's do that for sure. I look forward to it for sure, and we can talk in a little more detail about some of the other tracks on the album. And I just want to remind everybody, pick up Bernie's new album, Too Late to Be Cool, the first solo record in 20 years, autographed by the man himself. And while you're at it, pick up copies for your friends and family. It's a unique gift that will last a lifetime. And as I said, music and art is a gift that keeps on giving. And if I could look in the eyes, even though it's virtual, let's face it, the go-to is often the gift card. Frankly, that's pretty lame, people. I mean, I've done it myself. Once the amount is exhausted, it has no value. In fact, even worse, it becomes landfill. Give the wonderful gift of Bernie Leadon. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Your friends and family will thank you for it. And you have worked hard this year as well. You deserve it. And I have it on good authority. Truly, it will enhance everyone's quality of life. Bernie, such an honor. I can't thank you enough for doing this. And thank you for delivering this great piece of music as well.
Well, thank you so much for your invitation, Steve. It's been a pleasure. It's really fun talking with you. I think you're a very knowledgeable guy, and you got a great thing going here.
Thank you so much, and would love to have you back to talk about holidays. It's an open invitation.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Let's do that for sure. And with that, everyone, before you check out this last track. It's a closing track, and it's a brilliant one. And stay safe, enjoy life, rock on, everyone. So long. And Bernie, once again, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, man. God bless everybody.
Not so lovely today. She took her love and left you again. Don't go searching for somebody to blame. There's always more love from whence it came. And there always is a lesson to explain. For we chose a path of fortune and fame. And one will always meet oneself yet again. The next time round the refrain. Because love, because love, because love is not a zero-sum game. That feeling that has swept you away can carry you back the same way that you came. Where we find ourselves still waiting today. And that feeling never left anyway. You could travel searching for the golden key. Golden key to understanding. Think the door is locked, but we're gonna see. Ain't nothing there that isn't free. Because love